Hey, folks, how are you? Greetings. Great to have you here. Rush Limbaugh, already the middle of the week. You know, honestly, when I finished the program yesterday, I thought today was going to be Friday. That's how intense this the first 2 days of the week has been. But here we are on Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week. Great to have you here. I think, folks, it's safe to say Donald Trump thinks that he got schlonged in Iowa.
It's open line.
800-282-2888. If you want to be on the program, the email address lrushmo@eidnet.com. Donald Trump thinking he was schlonged in Iowa, uses the Ted Cruz fraud, and is calling for a new election. From the Politico, Donald Trump on Wednesday, that's today, ratcheted up his rhetoric after his loss in the Hawkeye, accusing Ted Cruz of illegally stealing the election in a tweet that he subsequently deleted. Accusing the Texas senator of fraud, Trump said later that a new election should take place or Cruz's results should be nullified. Mr. Trump said that Ted Cruz didn't win Iowa. He illegally stole it. Now, he had to pull that back. He had to withdraw that tweet and take the word illegally out of it. There were legal consequences to that, so he pulled it back. People grabbed screenshots of it, though, and he retweeted it without the word illegally in it. So it's Ted Cruz didn't win Iowa. He stole it. That's why all the polls were so wrong. Any wonder why he got more votes and why he got more votes than anticipated? Very bad. Trump tweeted Wednesday morning. The tweet disappeared within minutes of posting, as I say, because of the word illegally in there. He then retweeted minutes later, correcting a typo, removing the word illegal. Well, it wasn't a typo. That would have opened up all kinds of legal, libel possibilities. So that's why it was withdrawn and then retweeted minus the word illegally. Final tweet was, Ted Cruz didn't win Iowa. He stole it. That's why all the polls were so wrong and why he got far more votes than anticipated. Bad. You know, folks, Trump calling fraud on the Iowa caucuses and saying that it should be done over might be the best proof yet that Trump is not your typical Republican establishment candidate. No matter what happens, Republican establishment candidates almost never complain when they lose elections. And I know some people have been thinking that Trump is a wolf in sheep's clothing with all this previous quotes people can produce of him supporting liberal causes and liberal Democrat candidates and so forth. But I tell you, when I see him protesting the results of an election, that, to me, erases any fear that he might be an establishment guy, because, let's face it, establishment Republicans never complain about anything anybody does to them. Man, what a way to kick off the day. Here's a series of tweets that Trump has produced so far today. Ted Cruz didn't win Iowa. He stole it. That's why all the polls were so wrong and why he got far more votes than anticipated. Bad. During prime time of the Iowa caucus, Cruz put out a release that Ben Carson was quitting the race and to caucus for Cruz. Another tweet, many people voted for Cruz over Carson because it is Cruz fraud. Also, Cruz sent out a voter violation certificate to thousands of voters. Another tweet, the voter violation certificate gave poor marks to the unsuspecting voter, grade of F, and told him to clear it up by voting for Cruz. Fraud. And finally, last tweet that was sent out, Cruz strongly told thousands of caucus goers that Trump was strongly in favor of Obamacare and choice. A total lie. And people are wondering, I mean, I'm sure you are too, does anybody pre-read these tweets before they go out? Is there anybody that Trump runs these by, or is there somebody tweeting them instead of him? Is somebody doing this that he doesn't know about? No, that's not possible. Is he tweeting? Does he run these by anybody? I mean, really, to put out a tweet that Cruz didn't win Iowa, he stole it, and to demand a new election? Is there nobody in the Trump universe that looks at that, might not want to send that right now? But apparently not. Donald Trump has demanded a new election because of the way Cruz defrauded Ben Carson. In another tweet, Trump referred to the Cruz campaign's mailer sent out, this voter violation stuff. And he followed up by writing that Cruz had misled Iowans about his Trump's stand on health care, the Affordable Care Act, and all that. All of this, it's all over the place. This is Politico that I'm reading it from. Let's go to the audio sound bites on this. And I want to start with something I explained yesterday that I got right. Trump confirmed it, not by name. Remember the tweet from yesterday that he said that it self-funded the campaign and there wasn't any appreciation for it. They got no credit for it or whatever, but he was going to keep doing it even though it wasn't worth it. And everybody said, what does that mean? What in the world does that mean? It's not worth it. If it's not worth it, why are you going to do it? And I, your host, endeavored to explain it thus. It's number 9. We're starting here at number 9. I think that his point is all this talk about all the money in politics, and there's too much of it and too much lobbyists. So he goes out and self-funds, and nobody says anything about it. Nobody praises him for setting a new tone, a new direction in politics. So what he's saying is essentially that self-funding his campaign has not gotten the accolades he thought that it would get. So last night in Milford, New Hampshire, at a campaign event, or actually before one, he had a press conference, and during Q&A, he actually explained it, and see if it's pretty close to what I supposed it was.
I'm self-funding, and I must tell you, I don't know that enough people appreciate it. I'm self-funding anyway, whether they appreciate it or not. So I won't be influenced by the lobbies and et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know that it's appreciated really by the voters. I'm the only one on both sides that's self-funding. I'm putting up my own money. And I don't know that the voters appreciate it. When they go in to vote, I don't think they say, I'm going to vote for Trump because he's self-funding and he's not going to be influenced by lobbies and special interests, etc. I tell them, and sometimes they like it, but I don't think it's something they vote for, which is a shame because it's actually a very big thing.
Right, it's not worth it. I'm doing all this self-funding. It's not worth it, but I'm going to keep doing it, but I'm not getting any credit. It's exactly what I thought what the meaning was of that tweet. Now, he also, apparently I'm wrong when I posit that it was not the debate, skipping the debate last Thursday in Iowa that caused Trump's problems. He clearly thinks it is now. And I'm still, I know it's conventional wisdom to say so. The glitterati and the intelligentsia all think that Trump not appearing at the debate, instead doing his vets event, offended Iowa caucus goers who wanted to see him, wanted to hear him, and so forth. And so they lost some enthusiasm and didn't end up caucusing for Trump. And I always thought, as I said yesterday, that it was things that took place long before the debate that might have caused some people some problems. The way he was criticizing Cruz, the things he was saying about Cruz being mean and heartless and letting people die on the street because of health care and so forth. It sounded like the kind of criticism that Cruz would get from a Bernie Sanders, a socialist type wacko, or Hillary Clinton. And I said, that's going to cause people to rethink some things here, I thought. But Trump is saying, no, he thinks that it's debate now. Could have been the debate that made him lose Iowa. This is, again, in Milford, New Hampshire last night before a campaign event. And a reporter said there's polling that shows that people who decided early tended to go with you, but folks that decided later didn't. Now, what that means is, by the way, the big final poll was that Des Moines Register poll that had Trump winning by 4. And it was also the poll that predicted a huge, big turnout. It didn't specify that, but if you looked at the data, there was no way their results could happen unless there was a big turnout. And another bit of conventional wisdom, big turnout, record turnout, was going to benefit Trump. Another aspect of the polling and conventional wisdom that was wrong by 180 degrees. The big turnout benefited Rubio and Cruz. It did not help Trump. Now, this business of being a late decider, what that really means is somebody made up their mind after the last poll. So the Des Moines Register poll takes place. When did they announce that? On a Friday? I forget the day, but there were days after that poll before the caucus. And so the poll results are announced and published, but then events continue to happen. And it's true, according to the polling data, the exit polls and so forth, people that made up their minds late tended to vote for Rubio or Cruz and turned away from Trump. And we believe this to the extent we believe people are honest in both entrance and exit polls. So we'll go with it because that's what's being reported. And it was that little tidbit of information that fed the conventional wisdom that, aha, it's the debate. Trump skipping the debate and doing his vets event. That's what caused the problem with late deciding voters. And here's Trump answering the question. Polling that shows people who decided early stayed with you, but people that decided later didn't.
I think it could have been the debate. I think some people were disappointed that I didn't go in the debate. If I had it to do again, I would have done the exact same thing. And the reason is, do you know why? Because I raised $6 million for the vets in 1 hour. So if I took a second place instead of a first place and could give the vets $6 million, I'll do that all day long.
Yeah, it probably was the debate, but I'd do it again. I'd blow off the debate again if the same set of circumstances popped up. Here's Trump unloading on the dishonest Ted Cruz during the campaign event. The two previous sound bites are prior to it with the drive-bys. Here is Trump during the campaign event unloading on Cruz.
Cruz comes out with an ad that I'm in favor of Obamacare. Can you believe this? These are dishonest people, these politicians. These are worse than real estate people in New York. Then he said, Ben Carson has quit the race the day of the election. Ben didn't quit the race. What kind of crap is this? No, it's honestly, really, really dishonest. And I think I know why. You know why? Because he was born in Canada. Happens to be a problem, folks. You watch. He gets the nomination, they're going to sue his ass off.
Ooh, it's still loaded for bear on the Canada angle. Still loaded for bear. The reason that Cruz participated in the fraud against Dr. Carson is because he's from Canada. And he knows it's a problem. Even the Democrats are going to sue his ass off. Like I said, I'm quoting. So, dishonest Ben Carson quit the race. Hey, look, I found what, to me, is an obscure website, something I hadn't seen before. But there is apparently some evidence out there that the actual culprit here is the Carson campaign itself. The Carson campaign mentions that they are leaving and taking some time before New Hampshire and South Carolina and so forth. But beyond that, I mean, it really did start there, and then CNN got in the game. But this website says that if you really want to find out who got this whole ball rolling, you got to go to the Rubio campaign. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to go to the Rubio campaign to find out what really happened. And Rubio is not from Canada. He's from Cuba.